Hey, how's it going, everybody? I didn't wanted to make a video right quick. I gotta go. I gotta get ready to go to work, which is probably why I hadn't made the rest of the videos I was gonna make. Part three all the way up to part six, which I'm still gonna make. I just hadn't got a chance because I've been working. We're actually been working more than I wanted to, but different story. Anyhow, my name is Mark. For those that are new, um, that this is your first time watching a video, and of course, obviously by the name of the channel is Mark's Music Play. So, thanks for tuning in and watching the video. I thought about this, and what I wanted to do right quick was this is my analysis of it, and get maybe you might want to get some insight on it as well. Okay, so to get with the story, to get to the point, basically, I thought about this, and some people probably came to the same conclusion. Um, Honestly, I think commercial studios are great. The buildings where you walk in there, there's the reception, you have the lounge, the bathroom facilities, the kitchen area, relaxing areas. But there's always usually the control room where the artist is going to go, and there's also the live room where the artist is. And of course, in the control room, the engineers, the artists, assistant engineers, and everyone's in there setting stuff up, getting everything ready to record. Artists come in there, musicians, session musicians, and everything else, and then boom, it goes, and next you know you got this record and these songs, an album, CD, whatever the case, mixed, recorded, mixed, mastered. Now it's what we hear on the radio and streaming services and CDs and wherever how we listen to music, right? So, not going to be very long on this subject, but really, if you think about it, there are still commercial studios because there are still a lot of artists that still believe going to a commercial studio facility. One, because they're established. Two, there's a crew. Three, the engineers and the gear. And four, the security. There's the security aspect of it. They can go in there privately, away from the public, because the public can't get into commercial facilities, right? But if you think about it, if you got a recording studio in your home, it's pretty much the same thing. The only difference is getting in and out without neighbors noticing if this is the major celebrity coming to your home or not. What's nice about like my recording studio, as an example, is it's quiet during the day and it's quiet usually at night, so it's hardly any traffic noise or anything like that, which is great. Our artist can actually park in the driveway and walk in, and no one would ever know unless you just, I got one or two nosy neighbors, but a major celebrity could probably come in here discreetly, in and out without anyone ever knowing, because it's just most people stay in their homes or whatever. It might be a little bit more busier during the summer when people are out walking, but for the most part, I want to get to the basics of this. My analogy on the whole commercial studio, and reason why a lot of people are not really looking at commercial studios as much as they used to anymore, because one of the advantages, of course, to a commercial studio was they're definitely going to have the recording space. They're going to have the recording booths and space. Most homes do not. Most people have a set up in their bedroom. It's just really no room to do other than personal projects for the most part. And for a lot of people, that's all they want to do is personal projects. So that's why it makes it perfect, to do it in a bedroom or whatever the case. But in a band and orchestra setup, you need the space. I don't have the space to accommodate, especially the way my house is set up. I just don't have the space. Excuse me. So, but what I realized is now that DAW's computer systems have went to 64-bit systems, plugins now actually sound like real gear. DAW's audio interfaces are better, like way better, like 100 times better. Even the cheapest audio interface sounds better than most complex systems of 20 years ago, right? 30 years ago. So with that being said, there are a lot of people realize they don't need complex systems anymore because most stuff can be done with the software and you can pretty much come up with the same results. And there are some people that work, there's so many different ways people work, and some people just don't understand. Like, for example, in my setup, why would you, if you can do everything within your software and everything else, why would you need a console and rack of gear? It's one, I like to work this way. That's just all it really is. Like for a mixing console, as an example, really all a mixing console really is a mic pre channel strip. It's just like this console's 48 channel. It's just 48 mic pre channel strips. You buy one mic, like that, like over my shoulder, these pre, and those are mic pre channel strips, right? It's just that, think of this Allen Heath console with 48 channels, the same as those, like for example, that art channel. Think of it as 48 of those, right? The only difference is the output knob. Instead of having a knob, this one's got a fader. It's the same, thing. And other than that, it's got several wiring or output routings on it called auxiliaries, and on and off switches to route to buses, so bus groups, to an output. That's the only really major difference. So they're used for monitoring purposes, they're used for mixing purposes and everything else. But that's really what it is. It's just mic pre's with EQs. That's really what it is. It's just that it's easy to work on a console, in my opinion. So I don't want to be, like I said, didn't want to be very long, but so to sum it up, now that plugins have gotten really good, the DAWs are a lot better, especially for recording and editing. And the interfaces are better. Other than having a few pieces of gear, maybe you might need some external mic pre's, a couple of compressors or whatever. Most people are getting big commercial studio sound in their bedrooms now. And if you watch a lot of home recording studio videos, I've probably seen thousands of them now. Everyone, even though no one has an identical setup to other people, because everyone has their idea how they want to set their recording studio up. What it does is most people, when they do that, they find themselves less and less reason to do commercial studios, which is, to end on this note, what I love about commercial studios is the atmosphere. Especially when you walk in and you start seeing all the gold and platinum albums on the wall with all various artists that we admired. Whether it was Mariah Carey, Mary J. Blige, Stevie Wonder, or whatever the case, Earth, Wind, and Fire, whatever artist that you like. And you would say these artists recorded at these recording studios. And so that's the one thing that I love about commercial studios. Um, everyone knows the downside to a commercial studio is the time and the cost, because you're limited to so much time, and they can be expensive. But to end on that note, that's really how I look at it. It's like now, if you got even a lot of so many recording mixing engineers have turned to saying, well, I can just why not just use the software and the plugins to mix something that's been recorded. I'll just mix in the computer and use the plugins. And a lot of artists have turned that way. I mean, mixing engineers have start doing that. And so if you think about it, what does that tell you? That just tells you that the software has just gotten a ton better. So in the end, I was watching several videos on how a lot of recording studios just kind of started closing because they weren't getting the clients. Record labels weren't really giving out advances. Recording artists couldn't afford it. Most people, recording artists and producers, aren't going to pay those kind of prices anymore. So the recording studios, because of they were leasing them and renting the buildings, they had to close the buildings because they couldn't pay the rent, they couldn't pay the staff. They had to close the buildings, sell the gear, and because more and more people are building more and more, their home recording studios are popping up. That is now becoming the norm. But the only downside is to that it's really no downside. It's really not a downside. I think the only down or the only disadvantage is if you are like me, the goal was to work with major artists. The chances, which is going to be another video on my pet peeves about local people wanting to work in your recording studio, right? That's going to be another video. It would be harder and harder and harder to get a recording artist of a certain level in your recording studio unless your recording studio, even if it's in your home, still will attend to resemble a commercial studio. In other words, you still have somewhat of a decent big live room. They can get a band in there. You got a control room. Some of them still going to require you to have a console. Some don't. Some people don't care if you have you have just a mixing desk with just your outboard gear, your controller, and all that. Some people don't care, but some people do. It just depends on the producers and the artists. And it just depends. The whole thing just depends. But so that's pretty much my take on it, on why I think the DAWs and the plugins have really killed the commercial studio business. It's just a lot of people are doing this at home now, and they just don't see the need. Even though I can probably give you 10, 12 reasons why you should go to a commercial studio. But that's only if you got the money. But if you don't have the money, naturally. So that's going to do it for this video. That's it. So this is what my opinions on why commercial studio, the DAWs and plugins, because software's just that good today. Other than that, thanks for watching. Y'all have a great one, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Well, like I said, oh yeah, caveat. I'm still gonna make, like I said, I will make part 3 all the way up to the song is done. Been working a lot. Plus, I had a couple of little glitches I just fixed to finish the song, so you can, that's. So anyhow, that will be done. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.